This guy has refused to be put down. So I'm just going to shoot with him in my arm. Hey baby. Hey. He wants to destroy my whole setup. Come on baby, relax. Chill. Chill man. Hello there, thank you for clicking on this video. Today I have company. This guy has refused to be put down. So if it is your first time on my channel, kindly look around, and if you see that you like what you see, kindly subscribe. I really loved your feedback on my last video about my YouTube background. You guys loved it. Also, I want to say thank you to all my subscribers. According to my channel analytics, by the way, most of my viewers are from Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and WhatsApp status. So I would like to thank all of you who see the links to my videos on other platforms and actually click on the videos. Thank you so much. You guys are the real MVP. And before we get into this video, let me share some good news. I got featured on Invest magazine entrepreneur section, and they titled it as Kenya's budding YouTube sensation. And guys, I feel so great that my work is getting the recognition that it deserves. So guys, if you haven't read the article, I'm going to leave, actually the link is already in the description box. Kindly click on it and read the whole article. And just so you know, the website is invest.co.ke, and it is a business site if you want to add to your wealth of knowledge about companies, businesses, entrepreneurs, tech, finance, and lifestyle. So now let's go into will you guys be staring at this guy the whole video? Will I even get any attention? Because this guy. So guys, let's get straight into the title of this video, finding a rental apartment. And let me start by saying that as you choose an apartment, keep in mind that it has to provide the convenience of a home that is safe for yourself, your family, and your children. And it should feel like home where you can relax, while at the same time it should also allow you growth into the next chapter of life. It should allow you growth into the next chapter of life. I will make the assumption that if you're watching this video, it's because you're planning on upgrading your current living situation, or basically maybe you live with your parents and you're planning on moving, you just want to change houses sometime in the future. So I am convinced that I can give you some great points, because here these guys, this is funny. I have moved houses 3 times within the last 8 months. 9 months actually, since November last year. I have moved 3 times. So first I moved from my mother's house into our first apartment just before our baby was born. That was in November. And then we moved again in April this year because we didn't like a lot of things about that house, so we moved into another apartment, and then we just upgraded to this one that we're living in recently in July. Okay, now the first thing that we're going to talk about is choosing a location on where to live. If you work from home, you can literally live anywhere so long as the apartment suits you. But if you have a full-time job, other dynamics come into play. Like you should have a budget. As you budget for your living space, ensure that first of all your rent does not exceed 25% of your monthly income. If your rent is higher than 25% of your monthly income, kindly know that you're living beyond your means. Also, watch anyway, Siri, if your rental budget is above 20,000 shillings, kindly just consider finding a standalone house which has 2 or 3 or 4 bedrooms and has its own compounds. There are so many of them. You can check them out on gg.co.ke, which is the website that I think they bought out OLX because they literally replaced OLX. Secondly, you need to check your needs and interests. Some people like to live in a quiet environment. Caroline Motuko likes to call it living out here in the streets, not in the streets, in the sticks, living out in the sticks, kwa kichaka. Alternatively, some people love to live in metropolitan areas. Some people like to live in metropolitan areas in the hustle and bustle of the city. So, and the other factor is fare prices, like how much fare will you be paying to commute from where you live to where you work. There's a notion that the further you live from the city, the higher that you're going to pay for fares, but that may or may not be the case. For instance, using an example of Thika Road, because that's where I live, kuna maeneo ya Kasarani, Roysambu, Outer Ring Road, Garden City and Homeland areas, Kiambu Road, Gara, coming down to Githurai, Kahawa, Ruiru, Kimbo, Juja and Thika. I hope I haven't left out any areas. The commute time, I would say, is relatively the same, and correct me if I'm wrong, the areas closer to Nairobi have higher traffic, like especially during rush hour mornings and evenings. So someone coming from Thika and another one coming from Mwiki at the same time will probably get to Nairobi at the same time, because the one in Thika will encounter less traffic, but the one in Mwiki will be stuck in traffic hapo Kasarani. So I hope you get my reasoning. However, fares for these two people are still the same, because Kenya Mpias from Thika charge 50 bob or 80 bob at most during peak hours. Also, Juja with the super metros, if you're using public transportation, and Mwiki Sacco, they still charge 50 to 80 bob. So the commute time will probably be the same and the fare will probably be the same. So there's a whole range of it that opens up to the many places that you can live along Thika Road. Another thing to consider is the access to amenities such as schools, major highways, hospitals, the markets, malls and supermarkets, because you want to live very close to the market, because the further that you live from the market, the higher the prices of groceries. Yeah, and this is what we feed on a daily basis. So the closer you live to a market, the more advantageous it will be for you. Now, here's the process of choosing a house. So first of all, you have to decide, do you want to move into a new or an old apartment that someone used to live in and then moved out? And then, should it be on ground floor, first floor or higher? And this is because with a new apartment, what you see is what you get as the true state of the house, because you're the first person to use that toilet seat. The house is just literally fresh and new. The other thing with an old apartment, maybe the previous tenant left and the house was only repainted and a few repairs were done, but if the landlord did not go the extra mile to fumigate the house and eliminate pests such as cockroaches, you might need to do that for yourself. Otherwise, you'll have lived in a house for 10 days and your friends might come over for housewarming and the biggest cockroach just decides to shame you. And it's a new house, so you get me? Yeah. So for me, my preference is a new apartment rather than an old apartment. Ground floor houses, they don't usually have much. They usually have limited access or inlet of natural light, and according to the way that house was built, most ground floor apartments are usually cold. Maybe ground floor houses, depending on the way the house is built, are usually colder or without much inlet of natural light. So if you choose a house on higher floors, you might need to consider the amount of wind coming in through the windows, or even a simple factor as how will you get the furniture to that floor. Next, how is the house management? Is it managed by an agent or the real owner of the house? Because hawa agents wanaweza kuhangaisha. But if the real owner keeps tabs on the house, chances are that the house will be well managed, the building will be well managed or maintained in a better way. Also, consider what kind of contract, consider what kind of contract you will be bound to as a tenant living in the house. You might find that signing a contract to live in certain buildings, if you don't read the details, you're literally signing away your deposit, such that in the event that you leave that house, you won't get your deposit back. And these guys wanakwanga na shida ya kurudisha deposit. I don't even know why they do that. Now, this is the most important part. Does the house meet the basic standards of living? First of all, is there a good supply of water? Do you have your own electric meter or token meter? Is the size of the house reasonable? Some houses can be really tiny with irregular funny shapes to corner to funny. Will the furniture you own or the furniture that you plan to buy even fit in that house? Because some landlords build like tiny houses, man. You can't even fit a bed there. If you have a 6x6 bed or a 5x6, that bed will fill the whole room and you have no space to even pass. Utakuwa tu ukishuka kitanda out the door into the kitchen or the next room. So guys, make sure that furniture can fit in that house. Also, does it have curtain boxes, curtain rods, ama ni tumisumari tumepigiliwa tu hivi kona? Because these are the factors that you don't factor in when you're moving into a new house. And once you've moved into the new house, you realize, well, I need to buy a curtain rod for myself because the landlord has not installed one. And they even hike your expenses higher than you had planned when budgeting for your move. And then, are you comfortable with the colors of the walls, or really need to buy wallpaper? You see what I'm talking about? Expenses that arise as you move houses. Yeah. Do you have access to even your own hanging lines? Ama utaishi kufight na wamama wa plot? Like, are the hanging lines placed at a convenient spot? Ama utakuwa unaanika nguo zako then zinamwagiliwa maji? You get? Yeah, and if you, okay, there are some solutions to all these problems, because you can also buy a washing machine, which will increase convenience for you and reduce the cost of actually paying mama kufua or even having a house help, because yeah, it is more convenient, because a washing machine uses maybe 1 unit of electricity. What it consumes is a lot of water. Another thing to consider is the height of the house and the general design of the house. Some houses are built in funny ways that make living in them very uncomfortable. So just make sure that the house is comfortable for you. One thing that people forget to do before they move into new houses is just go and knock on the next door to the house where you're going to be living, and that this will be your future neighbors. So just ask them questions. And what this does, you get to get some information about the building. You can ask them about water availability, noise in the building or in the neighborhood, and you learn any challenges that people living in that building usually experience. Huyo atakuibia siri zote, atakwambia, is the caretaker helpful, is the building cleaned well. Such things matter a lot, and they affect the quality of life of whichever place that you are living. Also, it gives you an opportunity to know who your neighbors are, and you might move into a house and find the same day that you really have loud neighbors who like to work out in the house at night, and there will be all kinds of noises coming from their house, and that can be quite inconveniencing for you when you want to relax. In all this, keep in mind the things you want. Like me, I love a house with a balcony, and a balcony with a good view is a plus for me. So it is important that the building has a good supply of water, because the balcony is my relaxation place, and the last thing I want to do is kujaza mitungi kwa balcony. You get? Yeah, so personally, I live out here in the sticks. In my house, I can say, has good inlet of natural light and even sunshine. Like when I open the curtains in the morning, the sunshine comes into the house, and in the evening I can watch the sunset on my balcony. And I'm going to show you, by the way, the view from my balcony, where I get to watch the sunset with my son, pia ya kiota jua, for our supply of vitamin D. So guys, I'm going to go to the balcony and show you the view from the balcony, okay? Let's go. You see the sunset. Let me turn the camera around. Yes. And the highway is, I don't know whether you can see, it's right over there. Right over there. That's where the highway is. It's not so far. I don't know whether you can hear it, and there are so many birds flying home, and the sunset. It's beautiful. If you're a landlord watching this, or a future landlord, kindly, I would like to really put this out there. I wish landlords would develop more sustainable practices, like recycling water, use of solar energy instead of relying wholly on KPLC, use of solar water heaters, waste management where you can divide, where you can divide organic and non-organic waste. And also you can also leave suggestions here below on what you think that landlords should adopt. Baby, you're so busy. So guys, thank you for watching this video in spite of us being very busy throughout the video. My aim whenever I post a video is that when you watch my video, you either get entertained, educated, or something I say triggers your thoughts. Yeah, triggers your thoughts as my viewer. Thank you for watching this video. Bye 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 bye.